Now, in this video, we will going to discuss about the classification on robot physical configuration. The robot manipulators can be classified according to their geometry. Most of these manipulators fall into one of the five geometric types. One is polar or spherical coordinate configuration, which is R or P. Then cylindrical coordinate configuration, RPP. Cartesian coordinate configuration, PPP. Articulated or joint arm configuration, RRR. Then selective compliance assembly robot arm configuration, which is called SCARA, SC. Selective compliance assembly robot arm configuration, RRP. Now, first we will going to consider polar or spherical coordinate configuration, RRP. That means R is nothing but revolution and P is nothing but the prismatic. So that means we have two revolutions and one prismatic. So we have a telescopic arm, and this is a pivot, and this is also a rotary base. So what is the meaning of this spherical coordinate configuration? The manipulator of polar configuration is made of two rotating and one linear joint. So that means you have two rotatory joints and one linear joint. So here the main frame consisting of a rotary base. The main frame, that is the entire thing which consisting of a rotary base, which is rotatory, and a pivot that can be used to raise or lower the telescopic arm. So that means you have the telescopic arm which can be raised or lowered, and the entire thing can operate or rotate with respect to this pivot point, and the entire thing can also be rotated in this particular direction, which is clockwise or anti-clockwise. Here also we are going to have a rotation on the clockwise or anti-clockwise, and whereas this is the prismatic, which is a linear motion of this telescopic arm, which will going to slide up and down. Then the second one will going to be the cylindrical coordinate configuration, RPP. So the figure of this is something similar to this, wherein we have a rotary base wherein it rotates about this particular rotary base, and then this column can be raised or lowered. So this becomes the prismatic movement. This slides up and down, and this is the horizontal arm wherein it moves in and out, which is as shown in the figure. And then the entire thing can be rotated. That means both the horizontal will be rotated about a particular orientation. So therefore we have R and we have P and we have P here. So that is the configuration what is RPP. The manipulator of the cylindrical is made of one rotating and two linear joints. The main frame consists of horizontal arm mounted on a vertical column. The main frame consisting of horizontal arm mounted on a vertical column. Horizontal arm mounted on a vertical column, which in turn is mounted. So the entire thing is mounted on a rotary base, which is as shown in figure. So this is about the cylindrical coordinate configuration. Then comes Cartesian coordinate configuration, wherein we have PPP. The manipulator of the Cartesian configuration is made of three linear joints. So one joint is here, the other joint is here, and the third joint is here. So now here the manipulator of the Cartesian configuration is made up of three linear joints. One is moves in the x direction. Suppose if you take this as the x direction, so here this will going to be the y direction, and this one will going to be the z direction. All are orthogonal linear sliding axes. So that means we have all the three axes are mutually perpendicular. If this is the horizontal one and this becomes the vertical one, and this will going to be the z axis. So this is one sliding in and out, this sliding is also in and out, and this sliding is moving up and down. So that means you have the left to right, we have up and down, we have the vertical direction in and out. So these are the three different orthogonal linear sliding axes. So three linear joints. One linear joint is moving like this, and the other linear joint is moving in this direction, and the third linear axis or linear joint is moving in this direction. Next comes the articulated or jointed arm robot, wherein we have three rotary axes or the revolution. It is made of three rotating points. So one point is rotating on this hinge, and the other point is rotating on this hinge, and this will going to be the last one wherein you have the rotary base. And it consisting of three rigid links connected by two revolute joints. One joint is this and the other one is this, and mounted on a rotary base, which is as shown in the figure. One is the elbow joint, which is the forearm, which slides up and down like this, and here the shoulder joint, which is the upper arm, which will going to be rotating like this. And they have one more, which is called the rotary base. Then we have SCARA. The manipulator of this type is made of two rotating and one linear joint, and it can rotate in two axes in horizontal plane and can move linearly up and down as shown in the figure. So we can see that linear motion which is moving in up and down, and two axes and rotate in two axes which is on the horizontal plane. One plane is on this and the other plane is on this, which is the horizontal plane, and it rotates both in the clockwise direction and also in the anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, this is one rotation is R and the other rotation is also R, and this has the prismatic movement, which is the linear motion. This is about the SCARA. Next, the basic robot motions. So degrees of freedom. So it describes the number of independent ways a robot can move. So what is the degrees of freedom? So it describes the number of independent ways. So we have the degrees of freedom, like we have moving in this direction, or it can move in this direction, or it can be moving in this direction. So that means we have all the ways in which it is very easy, and the number of independent ways a robot can move. A robot movements can divide it into two general categories: arm or body motions and the wrist motion. So this is the wrist motion and this is the arm motion. So that means we have a total arm wherein how that arm motion will going to be takes place. Then the individual joint motions associated with these two categories are referred to as degrees of freedom. So that means whatever you have, the arm or body motion and the wrist motion, both are combined together, which will going to become the degrees of freedom. The 3 degrees of freedom located in the arm of a robotic system are rotational traverse, radial traverse, and the vertical traverse. So we have one is the rotational traverse, radial traverse, and the vertical traverse. That means it is rotating like this. So that means this is the direction wherein the entire part will going to move in this particular direction. This is the radial traverse. It moves in and out in this direction, and this will going to be rotated about this. This entire portion will going to rotate on this particular direction, which is the pitch, and this will going to rotate only in yaw, only about this, and this will be rolling about this particular axis. So the entire thing can rotate also by using the rotational traverse. So then comes the industrial applications of robots. So the industrial robots have been applied to a great varieties of production situations. Some of the robot applications are: number 1, which is used in material transfer. In this application, the robot is used to move components from one location to another location. So that means it has to move, and a component has to move from one workstation to the other workstation, then we can use for this. So that is what we call it as the material transfer. Next, it is used for spot welding. It is a process of joining metal parts together in industries, and it is performed by robotic arms. So that means when you have a very high temperature wherein it will going to have an effect on the human eye, in such cases they go for the robots, and that is which is used for a very huge applications wherein we need to perform a spot welding operation. And as I already told you about the painting and coating, the large industrial applications for robots are spraying, particularly of components continually fed on overhead conveyors. Then processing operations. Robots can be used to perform some manufacturing processes such as drilling, grinding, polishing, wire brushing, water jet cutting, etc. So these are all the special operations which will going to be done by the robot. Then the assembly. The process of combining two or more components to make it a single entity is called assembly operation, and it is done by robots in some industry. Inspection and testing. Robots are increasingly used for inspection and testing in industries where the components are manufactured in the large scale. When you have the inspection and testing has to be done where the components have been which is large scale production has been taken place, or the manufacturing has taken place. In such cases it is very difficult to have a human inspection. So that is the reason why they go for inspection and testing by using the robots. So these are the main applications. To summary up of the industrial application, so the robots can use for material transfer, then it is used for spot welding, then you use used for painting and coating, then it is used for processing operations and assembly and inspection and testing. So these are all the things which you have in the robots. Thank you.